dude, I'm gonna have to sling the hammer for like a week, you know, I don't know, like, you know, something like that. So, but yeah, dude, you ready to just hop into it?
Let's do it, man.
All right, man. Oh, it's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ayoo Show podcast. It's been a minute. I haven't seen you since June. Sully's been running all of July. Not on purpose, though. My bad, Sully, because it was supposed to be 2 weeks, and now it's like a month. I don't know, dude. I'll figure it out. But y'all already know the business. I got a special guest for you today. AK40DEVIN, my boy. Please take a couple seconds, minutes.
Sir.
Let the people know who you are.
What's good, y'all? I go by the name of AK40DEVIN. Yo, I'm an independent hip-hop artist. I'm a videographer. Most importantly, I'm a father, and I got one obligation, one responsibility while I'm here on this earth, and that's change the world and impact as many souls as possible.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So, dude, I usually like to start off the podcast with, tell me exactly where you're from.
So I was born and raised in Rockland County, New York. It's about 35, 45 minutes north of New York City, like a little suburbs. Like, people always say, like, Rockland's, like, upstate, but it's, like, 30, 40 minutes north of the city. Like, we're not really upstate. Like, we're literally right there, but, like, we're not there. But we're not upstate.
Mm-hmm.
We're by the Palisades Mall.
So can you describe that area for me? Like, can you describe the town for me?
It's definitely mixed. Like, one side of my town is, like, all Spanish. Like, I literally, some of my best friends are, like, all, like, Ecuadorians and shit.
That's what's up, yo.
Yeah, man, I love them. And, yeah, man, we're really just diverse. I mean, there's a lot of, like, community, like music community. Like when I grew up, I was 13. The first concert I ever went to was a library show. And that library show like sparked like a whole music scene where I grew up about 13, 14 in Nyack. And that was kind of just like a place where I could run away to. And that's really, those are like my developing years, like 13, 14, 15, 16, just like being around like a local music scene in my town. But to go back on that question, like, a lot of people where I'm from, like, they just, like, trash it. Like, I don't know if they do the same thing about, like, where you're from, but I think where I'm from is beautiful, man. I'm blessed to, like, live in Rockland County, bro.
You know what? I always love asking people, you know, like, where they're from and to describe it, because I feel like in general, and especially in, like, the hip-hop space, you know, they're always like, yo, where you from? Where you from? Like, nah, fuck it, you know what I mean? Or being unwelcoming to, like, you know, their own, like, you know, perspective places where they've grown up, you know? And it's funny. Me, originally, I was born in Patterson, but I don't know if I claim part of Patterson just because, like, my family grew up there and, like, my whole culture's there as well, like, Peruvians, everything big in Patterson. But I mainly grew up in, like, Little Falls. You know, and it's funny because people like, as soon as I say Little Falls, they're like, man, bro, you fucking gentrified, you're all this shit. And it's like, yo, just because my parents sacrificed everything to get a house somewhere else doesn't mean that we didn't go through struggle, man. Doesn't mean we didn't go through pain. But yeah, no, I definitely get that, bro. But you know, it's funny. I actually love, so Nyack specifically is kind of like where you grew up.
So I grew up in Stony Point. It's about 15 minutes north of Nyack. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but like West Point is like a historic landmark right by my house. Bear Mountain, the Bear Mountain Bridge is right by my house. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of grew up in like a suburban town.
Yeah, I actually love when I do know like places that people come from because they usually don't expect it. I actually love like the Nyack area and everything. I actually recently I've been slowly like kind of going all around that area like whenever I have free time because it's a little bit of a drive for me, but I always love it because it's a beautiful route. What's that big ass highway that's right there?
Palisades Parkway, the
Palisades
Thruway.
Parkway. Hell yeah, man. Like actually the last time I was there, I was driving down the Palisades and they have like some of those stops that are just like scenic like viewpoints.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
I park there, roll up a blunt, you know what I mean, smoke, and I'm just like looking at the view. And they have a cool hiking area too. Right over there, I forget what it's called, but I like to go up there too. But there's actually this little shop in West Nyack. It's like a little, I'd almost say it's like a deli, but it's also like a half like convenience store too. And man, they have the nicest people working there, dude. It's like two brothers and a sister who've been working there forever.
Do you know the name of it or no?
Ah, dude, I can't fucking remember it right now, and it's crazy because I used to deliver ice cream to them, because I used to be an ice cream delivery like driver for this company, and the nicest people, bro. And they have like their whole family history on the walls. The dad used to own the store and gave it to the kids, and the kids are still running it to this day. The nicest people ever, bro. The nicest people ever. And then you also have around that area, I used to deliver food to something World Market. I forget what it's called, something World Market, but it's like a bigger store and stuff. And they have like a huge buffet area and shit too. And I remember like it's funny because I feel like when you get to more of the areas like towards Nyack and stuff, it's a little bit more spread out, right?
Yeah,
and I remember it was like the middle of COVID. I didn't give a fuck, bro. Like everybody was just touching the ladles and shit. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't get political or anything, but like I just thought that shit was like funny and shit. And yeah, it's beautiful out there too. And you also got that 3W
9W
9W fucking market, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit is fire.
Yeah, never
bro.
been there one time in my life.
Bro.
I just drive past it all the time.
Yo, next time I go, I'm calling you and you're showing up, bro.
Let's
Because
go,
that
bro.
place is so fucking fire. Their food is fire. The inside little like coffee shop vibe they have. It's like outside burger, beer.
The 9W
inside.
Market.
Yeah, dude, it's fire.
I've never been there.
Dude, you got what? Bro, you from there, bro. You from there. I'm not even from there. I've been there, bro. You wildin', bro. It's all good, though. It's all good, dude. It's all love. But,
Yeah, but even though I'm not from Nyack, like it holds such a special place in my heart, man, because that's where I became me. Like I literally have a Gift of Ghost tattoo, which is like a local band, and like I started going to these shows kind of as like a runaway. At the time, I was like 13, 14. My mom and dad, they live in the same house, but my mom was like out of the picture a little bit because her parents were like sick and shit like that. And my dad was always working. So we had like this time period where like we'd see my mom like once a week. She'd come home with like McDonald's and like that was it. Like we would just take the bus and like no one really cared like what we were up to, or like they just trusted us, whatever. So I would just go to Nyack. I ran away, man. I sang with Hawthorne Heights. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I'm not.
But one of my friends like took me on stage with them, and I just did guest vocals with them. And ever since then, I was like, yo, like I want to like do this microphone shit and like impact these people, because I seen like the local community, how everybody was affected, and it didn't matter like their differences or their religion. Like everybody was just coming together for one thing, and I always wanted to be that one thing that people came together. My son was born in Nyack too, bro, so I have like a super special connection with it.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I think we'll get there. Because there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about, like asking you. Because in a lot of interviews you talked to before, you know, you talked about your upbringing. I definitely suggest you watch Sully's podcast with AK40DEVIN, because both of them are fucking fire. Like really,
Thank you,
just
bro.
like,
But I apologize because I cursed a lot. And I watched that podcast with my mom, and I was like embarrassed. And I was like, on this one, I'm barely cursing.
No, it's all good. You could barely curse. You could curse. I always say whatever the vibe is, bro. If you want, I'll also dial down my cursing too. Shout out to everybody who, you know, wants it a little bit more like cool. Because actually, it's funny. I interviewed earlier in June in Jersey when I was doing that project. I interviewed a priest, and he's also my therapist. And he had asked me beforehand. He's like, I really like your podcast, but you curse a lot. And I was like, you know, and it is what it is. So I could definitely like dial it down. But yeah, what I did wanted to ask was, you was talking about your early experience, like, you know, watching like even like a concert was like in the library, right? So what was your earliest experience like performing?
I think my first performance was in Manhattan somewhere, and my little brother's a producer and he's a rapper. My older brother raps too, and they would always do it before me. I always wanted to like be in a metal band. I never like got the hip hop bug until 2014, 2015, until I couldn't get like the collective of like a band together. So I used to take my brother to these open mics in the city, and my brother is a beast, bro. Like if he continued rapping, like he would be like the next like Immortal Technique or Rakim or anything like that. And I would just take him to like all these open mics and stuff, and I just realized like, yo, everybody here is like trash. So like if I'm trash, like I could just like blend in. So like we just like went to this open mic, and funny, like my first experience was we were doing like an open mic and like the instrumental wouldn't play, so I just did like the whole thing a cappella. And that was like my first ever like experience live.
And how did you think it went?
I mean, looking back, I mean, I just thought I killed it. Like, but it's probably whack as shit. But like, I think I killed it at the time.
No, hell yeah, dude. I feel like all of our first things that we do, I mean, like, shit. I remember playing a solo in like what, 6th grade in front of like, you know, the concert band concert. I used to play this instrument called the euphonium. I still kind of play it. It's like a mini tuba. I played it in front of the whole thing, and I thought I fucking murdered it, bro. Like I look back now though, and I don't know if you ever been to a little children's. You're probably gonna be there at some point with your kid. You know what I mean? And you watch them, and like, you know, they think they're killing it, and meanwhile you're just sitting there for an hour and a half, and like, fuck, when is this shit gonna end?
All the time, man.
But that's the game, bro. That's the game of being a musician and stuff, and just like, you know, learning how to perform and fucking getting with the program. So Actually, before we continue with your career a little bit, I didn't want to talk about what do your parents do? You know what I mean? What's their story about, like, raising, like, what you said you have two other brothers, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I have two other brothers. One's younger, one's older. My mom, she's been retired since 20 years ago. I don't want to say, I don't even know what she did. She was like a therapist or a psychiatrist, like something like that. But she went to NYU, got a master's degree, did her thing. And once she had kids, she was just like, I'd rather just, spend time with my kids. And my dad did what he did to provide for the family and make sure that my mom could do that responsibility of just being a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, dude, that's mad difficult to do. Mad respect to your mom, bro, because you don't see that too much. I think, like, up in the, like, East Coast, like Northeast Coast and stuff, and you definitely don't see it, like, definitely like inner city and stuff. But like a mom just taking the responsibility of raising their kids. I think the first time I was exposed to that, I have some friends out in South Carolina, and like that's the regular for them. You know what I mean? A lot of the girls out there, I'm not gonna say everybody, but they talk about that. Like, once I become a mom, like that's gonna be my priority, just like raising my kids and like making sure like they get through shit, because it's hard, dude. It's fucking hard, and we'll get into that. So talk to me a little bit about when music started getting serious for you.
So I always like wrote lyrics, and like we always had like a band, but like we didn't do anything. So I always had like a drive and a passion inside of me to make music. And I was like heavy, like scene kid, like heavy, bro. Like I don't even know what a scene kid is, but like I was fucking weird, dude. I was hanging around weirdos, dude, wearing checkered pants, like the whole fucking nine. So I went to Warped Tour one year, and I went there to see like all these crazy bands, like Motionless in White, Oceana, Chelsea Grin, A Day to Remember, I think, was there. And I actually seen Machine Gun Kelly. I have a Machine Gun Kelly tattoo right here, but I seen Machine Gun Kelly. I think it was like 2011. And I just seen like this dude that was like me. Like he was just like some punk rock rapper dude, like climbing to the top of the stage. And I was like, yo, like this dude is fire, bro. Like he's climbing up the thing. He's like kicking the security guard because he's trying to pull him down. And I just went home and I was going through the wormhole of YouTube, and I seen this kid named Ryan Yax. He's a comedian now, and he has a cerebral palsy. So it's like some condition that he's born with where like he can't walk or anything like that. And he met MGK at a concert one time, and he basically said to him, like, yo, because of you, like, because you came out of nothing, because you were addicted to heroin and you were homeless and you had a kid and you faced all these challenges, I'm going to walk one day. So when I seen that video, it just gave me chills. Like, bro, like, that's what I want to do with music. Like, it's not about money. It's not about anything. It's about, like, that. Like, one individual changed another individual's life. And fast forward, like, a year or two after, I graduated high school, and I just told my mom and dad, I'm like, yo, I'm going to EST Fest. It's in Cleveland, Ohio. And they're just like, what? And I'm just like, yeah, we're going to take a bus there. Like, we sound crazy, whatever. So we go to the festival, and, like, I see this kid. And, like, now he's not only in a wheelchair, but he's, like, walking around on, like, a walker thing. And just being able to, like, meet him and talk to him and have a conversation with him, that just inspired me to make music. Ever since I left that festival, I was like, it's my goal to, like, have a music festival like this. And it's my goal to, like, inspire someone and change their life like that.
That's fucking fire, dude. I think the power of music, which, even though it sounds like mad cliche, right? The power of music, right? But like, I honestly think it's a super under like valued, and like there's a new there's like I want to say super new, probably around like 2016 is when they really started like universities adopting some of these programs, which is like musical therapist. You could actually go to college for that now. And I had this one girl in high school that when she graduated like 2015, I think. She went to the first Montclair, I think, teaches what's called musical therapy now, that you could actually study. And I think yeah, dude, I think the inspiration, and I think the motivation too needs to be there, because I find that kind of like the problem, I think, with our generation, like our generation specifically, like anybody within the ages of like 18 to like 25 right now, I like finding that motivation to do stuff is like the key thing you need to actually get through anything, like who knows, that guy in the wheelchair, like maybe if he didn't have that motivation and he didn't have that like thing that changed his life, seeing MGK, he might have not even attempted to walk. And sometimes it's not even about like what you, because how many times have people told you, you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna do shit, you know what I mean? And it's like, fuck, and the odds are usually stacked against us, every single time. Think about it. You have cerebral palsy, how the fuck is gonna walk? You know, and the doctors like know everything more than him, right? But it's kind of like that inner fire within yourself. So when would you say, so that was kind of like when you sparked up then, right? When you sparked and you were like, damn, like I'm ready to do this. So what changed then from that moment on? Like how did you start attempting to now getting into like what you get into now?
So then like shortly after that, and I was with my son's mother right out of high school, but I was with my son's mother right out of high school, and like we're not together anymore, and if her boyfriend get offended about this, whatever. But like when I was in like not fifth grade probably, I seen my son's mom and I was just like, yo, like I'm gonna be with that girl one day. So it was like my first like manifestation. And right after high school, she like broke up with me. We were together for like 3-4 months. And this is after the EST Fest shit. And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna write this song, yo, she's gonna come back, yo, I'm gonna write the best song ever, yo. So I remember clear as day, yo, it's like 5 a.m. I'm recording this song. Don't even mix it, don't even master it, and I just like send her the song, like the worst song in the world, bro. Like I could send it to you later. It's disgusting how bad it is. And like I just send it to her, and like they just like send me a video like mocking me back, like just like dancing to it and just being like funny and corny. And I was like, fuck. But like that was just like a jump start for me. Like I just made my first song after that, and I just kept going, bro.
Yeah, dude. Nah, I feel that, bro. I feel that. But do you listen to that song now and kind of get cringe from it? Or like...
Yeah, if I listen to it right now, I'd be cringe as shit, bro.
Bro, to be honest, I remember I'll never forget, because I've had a similar thing too, because I was in love with this girl like back in high school, and I think when we reached like dating like for 1 year and shit, I was just getting into writing music, but I was still at that point where I was like just like playing random chords on the piano and just kind of like talk singing to it, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote a song for us for like our first year and everything. And then I was broke too. I was super broke, right? So I was like, yo, I don't have a lot of money for this, because the 1 year anniversary, right, is a big deal, right? Whatever, right? So I think I got her like some flowers and like some clothes and shit like that. And I was like, but what can I do to put the cherry on top? So I wrote this song too, bro. I'll never forget. I brought her into my room. I was like, yo, sit down on the bed. And she's like, okay. She sat down. I brought out like my Casio keyboard that was like $5 from Goodwill or whatever. You know what I mean? Had its like 2 little tiny speakers. You could barely hear it. Like you turn it all the way up, you barely fucking hear it. And it's even like distorting a little bit if you hit the keys too hard. And I played and I sing for her, right? And it's so funny because like for me, dude, I felt like Elton John, bro. You ever seen that Crocodile Rock, like, you know, like video of him performing? Yeah. He has that one spotlight on him and you just see him and the piano. That's how I felt, right? And that's how I performed it, bro. At least in my mind, right? In my mind, I was like, damn, I love you, babe. This and that. And then I finished and I looked up and it was like, you know, you're expecting like a giant crowd and shit like that. And she's just there, just kind of holding in her laughter, bro. I'm like, And then she's like, yeah, babe, that was great. I love you. Let's get out of here. And I was like, damn, bro, I just poured out my soul for like 3 minutes and that's all you got. It's okay, bro. You know,
that's the worst though. But you know, like I'm realizing like, I mean, it's different with a girl, but like just seeking that validation from like other people. Like sometimes like people will do something like super dope and show somebody, whoever it is. It could be your dad. It could be whoever. Like you're so proud of it. You think it's super dope and you just show them and like, they're just like, eh. And it's like, it just like kills you inside. But it's like, the second you stop seeking that validation, like you're peaceful, man, and like you're successful at that point. Like the second you stop asking people's opinions and shit like that, like you made it, bro.
Hell yeah. So you're talking about how your brother used to rap, and then you said your little brother produces too?
Yeah.
So were you guys like the first pioneers in your family for music?
Yeah, I mean, my uncle does it, but like he's never performed. I was like the first out of all my brothers to perform because like all I wanted to do was be on that stage, like going to the local shows, just seeing everybody play live. That's all I wanted to do. My younger brother is like a spitter, bro. My older brother too, but they never like got into like the show world. Like that was like my first motive. Like I'm gonna write a song and I'm gonna play a show, and that's what I did right out of high school, man. I just started doing open mics, started getting ripped off by like promoters and shit like that. Kind of figured out it's just like a ticket sale business. Then we get bigger shows. We're going like Stanhope House, meeting Turkish Royale, opening for Mobb Deep, opening for Immortal Technique, opening for Rakim, DMX, Token, Chris Webby, and just like slowly just like learning the game and shit like that. Like Turk said his first show was with Wax. Like I was there too, just like learning the game. of like selling tickets in the music business.
Yeah, and it's crazy because yo, shout out Turk, bro, because he has a crazy like he talks about his stories about like just selling tickets and shit, and how he used to like he was selling tickets to the people he was selling weed to, and that's to me, bro, it would never occur to me to do that, but like I'm thinking back to it, and that shit's genius, bro. That shit's genius, and even like fucking like because like who, that's like you ever hear like the cliche of like the weed dealer who like like be like, yo, you don't want to chill for a bit, come inside, play some Mario Kart. If any of my weed dealers ever did that, I'd be like, nah, I don't know about that, but it's like, yo, you want to show up to this hip-hop show? I'd probably be like, but then I'd probably end up showing up to one, you know what I mean, because my boy's giving me the grade, so why not,
exactly,
bro? Figure it out.
Me and Turk, like, we used to have like a love-hate relationship. Like, I was at Turk's, so I don't know if that was Turk's first show. Turk's first show was at Fire Ice in Hackensack. And, bro, we used to have, like, a love-hate relationship. Like, now this is my best friend, yo. I love you, Turk, bro. You're an amazing dude. You inspire the fuck out of me every day. He was, like, too good, bro. And I would, every time, like, yo, I got to be better than this dude, bro. So then I started, like, coming with a live drummer, and I'm practicing my shit all the time. And every time, like, in my head, like, me and Turk weren't close at the time, but I was like, yo, I got to be better than this dude, motherfucker. He's bringing 400 people here. I'm bringing, like, 20. I got to drive an hour and a half to get here. But how the fuck is he bringing 400 people to the show, yo? It's like magic or something. So one time we're at Stanhope House, yo, and the guy, Jesse, who came up to me, he's like, yo, you did better than Turk tonight. And I was like, bet. Damn. That's fire.
It's good. It's good to have a little bit of, like, that competitiveness. You know what I mean?
You need that.
And especially, like, when that competitiveness, I think there's a different level, because sometimes that competitiveness comes from like jealousy, like, and seeing the other person succeed and be like, I should be succeeding like that. But then when you become friends and shit like that, it's almost like you want to see each other. Like, I'm gonna push you, now you're gonna push me. You feel me? That's how I feel like with Sully. Because he's probably like the only other podcaster in Jersey that I know of right now who does the kind of format that I do, bringing in rappers, artists, musicians, entrepreneurs. Sometimes it's random people, and it's just because they have a story, and I've never looked at Sully been like, damn, I need to be better than him. You know what I mean? And maybe at first, and actually funny enough, Sully, if you're listening, bro, the first time I saw him on Instagram, the first thing I thought, I was like, yes, finally, a fucking another podcaster. And I was like, we could be low-key enemies if he's a dick, you know what I mean? And then I met him, and then he DM'd me, and he's like, oh, hey, man, my name's Sully, bro. And I was like, oh, man, this is my boy.
Yeah, he's the nicest guy ever.
You meet him in person, bro, and it's funny, like, what you said about coming into the set at first, you're like, oh, I thought you did this in your bedroom. Like, I didn't know if it was a whole studio and shit. Bro, it's the same thing I felt about like when I went to Sully's place, bro. And Sully's place is great, dude. I go in there, it's in like that roof and the garage
attic,
and shit. Yeah. Hell yeah, and it's a vibe in there, bro. And I was like, dude, I had no idea it was like this, because that felt like looking at the shots and shit, it looks like a bedroom. You know what I mean? But it's like more like this big, long kind of attic thing. Anyway, yeah, I just fuck with that.
Exactly. Heavy. Yeah, the aesthetic's cool.
But what I did want to ask was, for the people who are listening, I talk about this to a lot of people who like to perform. Can you describe that feeling of going up there and just grabbing the mic and just pouring out your soul?
Oh, man, it's liberating, bro. Like, it's the only place that I feel home, man. Like, music is like religion for me. Like, it's so cathartic, just like write a song and perform it. I've had the greatest experiences of my life performing. Like, I don't know if you know too much about me, but I've done like Apollo Theater 3 times. I went there, I won a Coke Save, which is like the online amateur night. I'm the only rapper to win the online amateur night. Not like it's a big deal, but it's a cool deal to me. But being on the stage, man, is like, it's like if you do something, bro, and like, I don't even know how to put it into words, bro, but it's just like home, bro. Like, it's just like true love. I don't feel like whatever going on, like, in my life or in the world, bro, I just grab that mic and I could talk to people and I could see how they're resonating. And that's peace, man. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, for sure, dude. I definitely feel that. I haven't actually been on stage to perform in a minute, dude. But, man, there's just something like, pouring out your heart. And especially when you can feel the crowd going, you know what I mean? They're really fucking with your shit. Or you see just a couple people in the front row and they're just like, yo, you're fucking killing it. And you're just like, and it's like, it's hard work, dude. It's not easy, because I feel like as a artist, putting out your emotions like that, it's like the most vulnerable place you can be. Because like, it's like, it sucks because, some people, they don't even listen. They're not even listening to what you're doing. They're like, communication is a couple things. It's listening, the vulnerability to share stuff, but then the understanding part is the biggest part, right? Because you could be listening right now, but my words could be going through one ear, out the other. Or you could actually be understanding what I'm saying too, listening and understanding. It's like what you need to be a podcaster or even podcasting, you know what I mean? But do you remember a performance you had that's like your favorite performance to date, where you felt like you just killed it, or even like you just felt like the most emotion from?
I mean, Apollo Theater definitely, like, touching that tree, like whatever they call it, like the tree. I don't know if you know about the tree, but like there used to be like a tree out front of Apollo Theater, and they cut it down, and now it's like a little monument on the stage, and like everyone's supposed to touch it for good luck. And like, I mean, the people that have touched that thing, bro, like Michael Jackson, James Brown, Barack Obama, Bill Gates, Fat Joe. I mean, bro, the list goes on. Like, I'm not naming so many legendary people that have touched that, but that's like the most legendary venue in the world. Like, that's next to like Madison Square Garden. So for me to like even be backstage there and meet Mr. Apollo, who has like an incredible story, and just like feel that energy, bro. Like when you walk in the Apollo Theater and you're backstage, like not everyone has access to that, but like the energy back there is like, it's like from another world, bro. Like you could kind of just feel like the greatness, like the legacy in that room. So the Apollo Theater is definitely one. And then definitely like the DMX show, bro. Like me and my boy John Damiano, he was drumming for me. DMX didn't come on until like 3 a.m. He was just like super late. It's right before he passed away. It was at the Chance Theater. I always wanted to perform at the Chance Theater my whole life. But like we just got out there, bro, and like we just fucking killed it, man. And something I didn't know about like DMX is like he's super vulnerable. Like he would go on stage and he would cry and he would like speak real shit, and he had a lot of fucking demons, and all of my lyrics are just like super vulnerable too. And at the time I didn't think that like DMX's crowd would resonate with me because I'm like this white dude, but like I'm talking a lot of vulnerability, I'm talking about a lot of shit. But like that was like the best crowd and like the best show ever, bro. Like that place went fucking nuts for me, bro. It's crazy.
I think this is number one. That's fucking wild, and you know, congratulations to you for doing that shit. Because I know I've heard Apollo Theater so many times, and I've heard how legendary it is. I know like they do a whole bunch of different performances there, bro. Whole bunch of different performances. So shout out to that. What I didn't want to ask is, it's hard being vulnerable. Like it's one thing. It's like no matter what, when you go on stage, you're gonna be vulnerable, right? But when you're actually spitting vulnerable lyrics, when you're crying on stage, there's this weird, we're in a weird time period right now with music. And it's like, there's a thin line between like being vulnerable and then delivering it in a way where it's not corny and like consumable to people. And I think that's the hardest shit to do. That's so difficult to do. Because it's like, you know, how do you talk about like real shit without sounding corny? Because even sometimes I'll be listening to like songs today and I really like listen to the lyrics, and if it wasn't for the artist's popularity, if anybody else did it, it would be considered corny, you know?
Exactly, that's true.
I listen to a lot of Eminem's early stuff and I'm just like, I was like, this is not great, you know? And it's crazy.
It didn't really age well.
Yeah, it didn't age well. It didn't age well. And like, especially, well, I forget. I just listened to one of Eminem's albums front to back, but he opened up this album with this whole song. Fuck, what was it called?
I'm Gonna Kill You?
I don't think it was that. I think it was literally Curtain Call or Last Curtain Call, whatever. It was the first song on there. It was the album with Stan on it. I forget what
Eminem show or no? It's the Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, but the first song was like a bullshit song, and it was basically just about like getting head and shit. Like that's the whole purpose of the song. And I'm just like, you opened up an album with this dude, and you also have like Stan on it. Like Stan was the next song like after that, and I was just like, this is like weird, you know what I mean? Like nobody would do that today. But he also lived in a different time period where like, you know, he was very much like he wanted to get people angry, and that's how he kind of shouted. And that's very similar to like, you know, what like XXX Tentacion,
legend, bro.
Like, you know, what he did, you know, to the game, because he started off like he really got everybody's attention with, you know, like I forget the name of the song, bro. I always butcher it, but it's like can't keep my thing in my pants.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah, look at me, right? Like when people heard that song, like whether you liked him or hated him, you knew his name.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's like, oh, he's that guy. And then when he released his like not his most latest album, but the one with like Kanye and the Screamo and everything, I was just like, damn, like he would have changed the whole game. Sorry, I just went on a whole tangent.
No, he's cool, bro. I love that dude, man. And I just watched his documentary, and I don't want to say I wish because I can become that, but like this dude was like so musically talented at such a young age, bro. Like he's singing and then he's doing screamo and then he's doing a rap, like hard hip hop rap shit. And like all these things are in me, but it's so hard to like channel those. But like he was doing it like effortlessly.
Yeah,
just
dude.
go in there and make a screamo song, and I'm like, yo, this is nuts.
Yeah, it's fucking wild to even have that, you know, like I said, that drive to pursue it. But I'm glad that you found it at a young age. So how did you then kind of transition from like doing it kind of like amateurly to like actually getting shit done? Like when was your first experience in the studio?
So shout out my boy Big Veg, man. He's like a brother to me. He's like a mentor to me. He used to run this like local studio in Haverstraw called SNS Pro, and he would record all my brothers and shit like that. And I think right after like EST Fest too, like he had like a music business class where he's teaching about like mixing and songwriting and publishing and masters and all this shit. And at the time, like I just trusted him. He was my recording engineer. So I was like, yo, I'm going to go to your class, and kind of just went to his class, and whatever I took, I just ran with it. I started booking the shows. I started just figuring shit out. I started watching every interview on YouTube, bro. Like every Hot 97 interview, every Breakfast Club interview. Fast forward just a little bit, I'm paying for all these music videos, like $1,000 a video, $1,500 a video, and 2019 comes and I'm like, bro, like if I want to like succeed in the music business, like I'm not getting like a ROI on like these music videos, bro. Like even if I do like 100 more, I'm gonna be in debt like $100,000, and it's gonna take forever to like make this money back. So that evolution came and just like started doing everything myself. Like I don't mix and master myself, but I shoot all my own videos, I edit them. That's what evolved into the production company that we own. But that was like kind of the next step, just like meeting Veg and him being like a mentor to me. Like he would go to every single show, he would document everything for me, and just he's always given me like the best advice. Like he's one of my only friends, and no disrespect to my friends, but like he's like one of my only friends that like really genuinely looks out for me. Like, yo, bro, like you're wildin', like chill the fuck out. Or like when I needed like Similac for my son, like he'd call me up, be like, yo, here's like $50 for your son, like just get him some milk or pay your bills or whatever. So shout out to Big Veg, man. My music career is what it is because of you, bro. Thank you.
Dude, big shout out to him, bro, because there's not a lot of people you meet in life who really got your back like that. Those are the type of people you really need. I always call it like an inner circle, outer circle, and then everybody else, right? It was like, sounds like an inner circle type of person,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
So
definitely.
mad respect to him. What I kind of wanted to pick at a little bit, I always believe, dude, and I said this from the beginning, when there's a will, bro, when you have that will inside of you, like that fire, when you really want to do something, I really don't think that money is the biggest problem. You know what I mean? Because when you fucking want something, bro, you'll find a way to make it happen. You either sell something, you'll fucking work fucking like crazy. Like I told you, you asked me before, like, oh, is this like your full-time gig? This is my full-time gig, but I still do side shit because I got bills to pay. I got a little paint here because I paint some houses and shit. I fucking cut lawns. I move furniture for people, you know what I mean? And they slip me cash and I'm like, boom, now I got like money to pay for the rent, you know? How did you like raise the money during that time period before the business and everything? Because I know like you were shooting music videos, you were like, you know, recording with other people. Like how did that work? Was it mostly like favors? Were you working a job? Were you just putting everything towards music, you know? Because I think during this time, like when was your son born around this time?
2019. Yeah, 2019.
So when did you see that concert with MGK that really like sparked everything?
That was like 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
All right. So how did that kind of work? Like where did you find your funding with it? Like, or like how did you divide it in between like, you know, your son and like music?
So I never did. Like I was broke all the time. Like once I got into this shit, bro, I risked and sacrificed everything that I've had, bro. Like I would buy out tickets myself, like having to sign contracts, like pay $900 out of my pocket, bro. I go to a show, there's like 10 people there. I didn't bring one single person, but just me buying these tickets, sacrificing that in order to build a relationship with a promoter who can now put me on a bigger show. That's how I always looked at things. And it's totally the wrong approach. But I would just like tell myself all the time, like I had bills I would pay, and I'd pay my bills. I'd pay my car, my insurance, my phone, whatever. At this time, like I didn't have a kid, but I would just like work at a pizza shop, and I was just like, yo, whatever I make, like if I make 1,000 this week, I could put 500 to a music video. I could buy some tickets and do a show. I could buy some beats. So like I never really did. And then truth of the matter is like 2019, I'm talking about one of my best friends being Ecuadorian in the beginning of this podcast. Shout out to Gio. There's this Ecuadorian dude that I work with. He's an immigrant, greatest soul in the world. And we worked at this pizzeria for about maybe 7-8 years, like straight out of high school. I just worked there and I kind of managed it, and I was like running it low key by the time like 2018, 2019 came. And he just believed in me, man. Like, I don't know what it was, if the results, he believed in me. I don't know if it was just me, the way I talked or the way I presented myself, but he would just tell me all the time, like, bro, like, I got money, bro. Like, I'll just give it to you and you could invest it however you want. And at first I would be like, bro, like, I'm not taking your money, bro. Like, I don't need that shit. So we're drunk one night and we're just like lit at the pizza shop, and he's just, yo, bro, please, yo, take my money, bro. You could do anything, bro. You could buy real estate. You could, whatever. You could do whatever you want with it. I don't even care about getting it back. I just want to help you out. I want to get back to you. So I was like, all right, bet. Thought about it for a while. Goes to the bank, gives me $4,500 cash, bro. Like, he didn't even fucking need the money, bro. He just hands me the cash, and he's just like, bro, you can do whatever you want with it, bro, and pay me back whenever, man. Like, pay me back in 20 years, pay me back 100 years. I don't give a shit. So I was like, you know what, bro? I'm going to invest in, like, video, because I believe that video is, like, everything, and it's the most important, and content and all this shit. And I bought a computer, I bought a camera, and learned everything, bro. Big Veg, shout out to him. He's my audio engineer, but he also evolved into a videographer as well, who taught me everything about networking. And networking is everything. Networking is detrimental to, like, my career and my life. But just, like, having that camera, bro, like, changed my life. So from there, I just kind of, like, got a camera. I didn't know anything, bro. And I just, like, started a business. I was like, bet, we're videography business now.
You know, like, somebody, like, giving you, like, 45 cash, like, is the craziest shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Like, that is the craziest shit, bro. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody have that type of opportunity, bro.
Yeah, no.
Like, shout out to your fucking, what's his name?
Gio.
Gio, you're a fucking legend. And honestly, low-key, I would have him on a podcast just to ask him what the fuck was going through his mind, dude. Because, like, I don't even know how that happens. Like, how does,
I
like...
don't know, man. It's just, I don't know, God. I don't know, man. Just crazy. But, like, I don't know, I needed it at the time. Like, I had a son coming, and, like, all my money was being saved for my son and my rent. And this is kind of like when I was, like, sacrificing everything for the music, but, like, this was like a slowdown for me, because I was like, damn, like, I gotta, like, get prepared for this shit. So I think he kind of, like, sensed that. He's just like, bro, like, if I can help you change your life and, like, make, like, a big evolution, like, let me be a part of it, bro. And he just believed in me. That's what it boiled down to. He believed in me.
Word. And did you end up, like, you know, like, how long ago was that?
This was 2019. And then 2020, months later, my son's born during COVID. I lost my job, man. So, like, it's what he meant to be. And I don't know if you want to get into it now, but 2019, I get a camera, bro. And I've always messed around with cameras my whole life, like skateboarding and music and shit like that. But I never knew what the hell I was doing. So months go by, bro. I still don't know anything about cameras. I don't know ISO, shutter speed, aperture. I don't know any of this, bro. Lose my job during COVID. I'm just here, like, trying to figure it out. What am I doing, bro? It's COVID now. I'm doing, like, Instacart and shit. I'm doing Uber Eats. I'm like, bro, this shit's not fucking working. So I kind of faked my way into working with World Star Hip Hop. Shout out to Will C., legendary music video director. And I just had a drone, and he's like, bro, I need a drone operator. We're filming Davies. Could you be in Hoboken? And Davies was one of my favorite rapper. So, like, I literally went from, like, working at a pizza shop to, like, months later, not knowing anything. I didn't even know how to fly my drone at the time, bro. I was just looking for opportunities, just messaging everybody on Instagram, bro. Like, no money involved, bro. Let me just help you. I needed to learn, man. So after all that, bro, COVID hits. I'm jobless. Next thing you know, I'm literally working with, like, professionals, bro.
So
like, I don't even know anything, and I'm helping a video production with Dave East.
So who helped you get that first opportunity then with Dave East? Like, did your boy hook you up?
So it's my boy. Shout out to Will C. He's the video director, and I was just DMing everybody, bro. I started DMing artists, but I was like, I can't DM an artist because I don't have a music video I could show them, like, to make money. So I was like, why don't I just start messaging videographers and tell them if they need help with anything, I'll just help out for free. They didn't have to know that I didn't know anything, but all they needed to know that like I was hungry and I was passionate about it. And
That's the move, bro. That's the fucking move.
and crazy part about it is I was in that pizza shop that I got fired from, and that's when the dude from World Star Hip Hop called me. Like I was like ordering a slice of pizza because I don't care, bro. I don't have bad blood with nobody. I was back at the place just eating. He just called me up. He's like, "Yo, it's Will C," and I'm just like, "Who?" Just like, "Yo, you sent me a message," but he don't know that I sent hundreds of messages. Just like, "Yo, what do you mean? You messaged me, bro. You gave me your phone number." And I was just like, "Oh, where? What's up?" He's like, "Yo, we're shooting Dave East, Vado, and Hoboken. Could you pull up?" Bro, I just stopped everything that I did, bro, and I just went out there.
Dude, that's
Really, the rest is history, bro. Because once Instagram and Facebook seen I was working with like Dave East and Jim Jones and Remy Ma, Papoose, all these guys, the Locks, people just started hitting me up for videos. And literally just the video business grew just like that.
fuck yeah, bro. So how much did you make on like your first shoot?
My first shoot, I was doing mad shit for free early on.
Early on?
Yeah.
Word. That's what's up. That's what's up.
But, I mean, $250 to fly my drone. Like, I flew my drone for like a Locks video. I flew my drone for, I think, a Papoose video. And yeah, he would just throw me a couple $100, and I started charging $500 for music videos, and it was just like a slow growth.
Hell yeah. So what drone did you end up getting?
My first drone was a Autel Evo.
Autel Evo. And what does that shoot? Like 4K?
Yeah,
1080?
4K 60. And that was the thing. Like at the time, this was like 2020, but it's not too long ago. But I had a 4K 60 drone, and like there wasn't like a lot of those. Like the Mavic Air 2 wasn't out yet, so that's like really what got me in the door.
Word. And then do you have like new drones now that you've like upgraded
Yeah,
to?
yeah, Mavic Air 2.
Damn.
Not super crazy, but
How high does it
Like,
fly? Because I know like some only go like a certain like.
I don't know, man. I'm scared, bro. I'm scared to figure that out.
Bro, it's hard to get into this shit too, bro. Because I originally come from sound engineering, dude, and I didn't know anything about videos or any of this shit, lighting, nothing, bro. And thankfully, like it's funny. I love networking, but I hate social media. I hate social media,
Yeah,
and like
the same way, bro.
and to DM so many people, bro. Like I've been overwhelmed, especially like the project that I did in New Jersey was really well received, and I'm really blessed and I'm thankful. I'm super thankful, right? But right now,
congratulations, bro.
Thank you,
That's
thank
amazing,
you, dude.
bro.
I fucking appreciate it, dude. I mean, it was something that I had my mind set on. It's like when you set a goal and you achieve it, bro. It's like the best feeling ever. But I feel like it's people sometimes aren't prepared for like the reception they get, and it's not that I wasn't prepared, but it was like a year ago at this time I was begging people to come on the podcast. Like I was begging, and like I would have to convince people, and sometimes it was even friends. I was just like, "Yo, come on." They're like, "Yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, it's kind of weird. You're just kind of filming and talking." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, please come on." And like now I like have like this great like community of people now. And they're like, "Yo, when's your next booking?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I got other people who are asking me. I need to figure this shit out." You know what I mean? And it's a slow process, but that takes balls, man. And I definitely like fucking mad respect for that, dude, because sometimes I even get scared for that shit, bro. I get scared when people ask me to come on a podcast sometimes, and they're like, they might be a bigger name. You start hearing names like Dave East, like like what you were just saying, Papoose, and all these other people. It's nerve wracking. You never know how the people are gonna act. So when you went on that shoot, like how was it working with the people? Were they nice? Were they kind of like very demanding? Like how was the experience?
I mean, it was just like a family, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they just like took me under their wing just like immediately, bro, and just would call me all the time for opportunities. I kind of fell off with them because I was like inexperienced, and I did some shit that was like to Will C, like disrespectful. But like if you ever see this, bro, like I love you. You taught me so much, bro, and I hope one day you can forgive me, bro. But I was just networking too much, bro, and at the time, like networking is what got me there, but networking is what got me out of there because I was working with this dude, and I just kept looking for opportunities, and he looked at it as disrespectful, which I understand now. But at the time, I was just quote unquote opportunist, what he labeled me as, and he's just looking for like loyal workers.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to not want to reach out while you're still like got something good,
Yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, yeah, it was amazing working with them, bro. Like his whole crew was amazing, bro, and just like it inspired me. Like I wanted to be like that director with like a huge crew, and like he made me realize like you don't need to know anything about video to like be on set to help out, bro. Like he just has like his friends helping out. Like, yo, go set up that light. Yo, go do that. Yo, put the smoke machine back here. Yo, set up this. And I was like, yo, like that inspired me to like. I did a $5,000 production not too long ago, and I had the full crew and all that, bro. And I was like, yo, like this is what I want to do, and it's because of Will C, bro. So shout out to him.
Yo, big shout out to him, bro. Fuck. Yeah, it's tough, you know, and but I don't ever think I like your approach to it. You know what I mean? Not I don't think there's ever any bridges you need to burn. You know what I mean? Unless it's like people who like literally like drag you down. But like, you know, you start realizing like this industry is pretty, it's big but it's small. You know, because I feel like a lot of people get excited when they hear names like, you know, Dave East, Papoose. What other names did you drop just now?
Remy Ma,
Remy Ma.
Jadakiss.
Hell yeah, dude. Like people get so excited when you hear those names and shit, but then you realize like, you know, when you're in this industry, those are literally your customers. You know what I mean? You got people who are on the come up and you have the people who are already like, you know, there and just looking for people to work with. How is it being surrounded by those people? And it's like, do you ever get like starstruck, or is it like, are you very more like work oriented with it?
I used to, but not anymore. Like the first time I met Dave East, bro. I don't know if you want to hear the story, but like kind of me meeting Dave East and having that mindset is like what got me out of it, because I met Dave East and bro, this is my favorite rapper. He still is one of my favorite rappers. But I just like took pictures of him and I was like starstruck, bro. I was like, yo, oh my God, yo, he got to get these pictures, yo. So like I was just like on Instagram and like sending his pictures to like his whole team, but I didn't send the pictures to my director like an idiot. Like, yo, take these pictures. And I was just in my head, I was like, yo, he needs to post these pictures. He needs to post these pictures. These dudes are fire. So that's what happened. Like I met someone else and they kind of were like, yo, why's your boy sending me pictures? He'd be sending it to you, blah, blah, blah. But you just realize that they're people at the end of the day, man.
I love that. I love that, bro, because that's what people don't understand, dude.
Do you know who Snow the Product is?
I don't. Tell me about him.
So, no, it's a female rapper.
Oh,
She's
tell
a
me about
female
her.
MC. Super dope. And she's like the chillest person ever, bro. I just met her back in Webster Hall. And literally a day before she was coming to town, I just manifested this shit. I was like, yo, I'm just going to go film her tomorrow at Webster Hall. Didn't communicate with her the day before. Didn't communicate with anyone on her team. I just went inside, charged my batteries. Like, I'm literally getting ready for work tomorrow. And I'm just sending everybody on Instagram a message. Like, I'm trying to figure out her merch guy. Who the fuck is the lighting guy? Who the fuck is this guy? And I'm, like, reaching out to all these people. Yo, let me just come out. I'll help out. I'll film free video. But seeing her, like, sell out Webster Hall and just, like, having, like, just a regular conversation. Like, yo, thank you so much for the video. Like, you don't know how much it means to, like, me and my team. And just, like, those little things, like, you realize, like, yo, like, these are just people, bro.
For sure.
They're just people, man.
And you did that shit, like, you know, for free, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. I do a lot of shit for free, man.
So what's the importance of, like, doing shit for free? Like, what do you feel like people, because I feel like a lot of people, they look at shit and they're like, I need to get paid for this. Or, like, oh, you're not going to throw any tip. Like, what have you learned from doing shit for free?
The blessing, my boy C has told me this, like, the blessing isn't in the bag, bro. And C has is another one. He's a celebrity barber cutting everybody, bro. Everybody you see on TV or music video, he's cutting their hair. Same thing, bro. I just reached out to him one day. I was like, bro, whatever you need help with, bro. Videos for your kids, whether they're playing baseball, videos for your barbershop, videos for you, whatever you need, I'm going to just do it. And, like, that whole World Star hip-hop thing where I was working with Dave East, like, it made me realize that, like, I could cold call 1 million people on Instagram all day. Like, yo, I got these music video packages, blah, blah, blah. But, like, we're not getting nowhere with that. Like, yeah, I'm getting money. My business is growing, but the value is in the relationships, like meeting people and just growing with them, because you're going to get more business that way anyway. And, like, my intentions are good. Like, my intentions aren't to, like, take your money and whatever. Like, my intentions are, like, let's all build together. Let's have an emotional investment in this shit together. And the outcome is just always way better.
Facts. I definitely agree with that, dude. I mean, and how do you think, you know, it's funny. You seem pretty calm right now, but I've actually watched a lot of your vlogs, or I don't want to say the vlogs, but like behind the scenes and performing and shit. I want to talk a little bit about you know, touring and stuff. What was your first like tour that you did?
I mean, I've done like local tours, but I've never done like a tour.
The thing that's stuck out to me most was, I think, this one video. I think you were or at least you opened up for Chris Webby.
Yeah, that's my dog.
And you guys were in the van, and I think beforehand you were kind of driving the car, and I think you were practicing like what you would have what you were gonna say on stage. I
Oh
think.
yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
You were doing that, and then you had this wild guy who was doing merch. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
but
Nasty Nate. He made the shirt. Yo,
shout out to him, bro. I love your style, bro. That's just crazy, bro. I love it. But like, and then you went up on stage and you're like, you're doing your thing, you're rapping. But here's actually a thing I'll bring up because I think it's very important. So you're doing this. I don't know if it was in that specific vlog or like behind the scenes video or whatever. But you were performing and like you're performing at this venue, but there's not that many people like in front, right? But they're vibing. They're up in front. How does that affect you at all as a performer when you're doing your stuff? Like, or because I imagine it's hard because I've been in that situation too. That I've performed before, like in front of like a lot of people. Like I think the biggest crowd I ever performed, not a lot of people. I think the biggest crowd I ever performed though was like maybe like 50, 60 people. But it was a small room, so I felt lit.
Definitely, bro.
But like it's a little that place was a little bigger. Like how is the difference between performing big crowds, small crowds, like, or do you put it all on stage regardless?
Yeah, I just put it all out, man. I think it's more so about the quality people, because I think you're talking about like two vlogs, like you've probably seen both of them.
Yeah.
The Chris Webby show in Frenchtown, New Jersey, bro, was like packed, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We had me, Soli Turk out there. And then I did a headline show, which I got paid like the most I ever got paid for a show ever out in Providence, Rhode Island. And it was like a packed show, but by the time that I went on, like there was only like 20, 30 people there. But like those 20, 30 people were there just for me, bro. So it's like, are those 20, 30 people, I don't want to say more important, but like, are they more valuable than the whole room full of strangers that like only a certain amount of them are caring? Like, yeah, they're drunk, they're turning up, but like, are they connecting?
I feel that. Nah, I agree 1000%, dude. I always say, as long as like affect one person or like help change or develop a person's life, as long as it's one person, even with the podcast, dude, I don't give a fuck. My numbers aren't crazy for the podcast. For certain ones, it's dope, you know what I mean? Because some people have more reach than others. Certain reels hit and it's dope and shit. But it's like the person who reaches out to me and it's just like, dude, like I've been listening and this shit helped me with this, or this shit helped me with my depression, or this shit took me into another place that I needed to go to in order to heal. Like that's the shit that I think matters the most. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about right now. Having those 30 people who, like we were talking about communication, anybody could listen. But are they understanding what you're saying? Are they feeling your pain? Are they having as much, sympathy or empathy with what you're trying to say as they can? One thing I want to talk about, speaking about like, having fans and people who understand you, you have one person who has a tattoo, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's crazy.
Talk to me
shout
about
out
that
to
shit,
Casey, man. I mean, bro, it's unreal, bro. Like that's all that I wanted. So like Casey, because of you, like I'm successful. Like I don't give a fuck anyone's standards, whatever. Yeah, man, I have this song called Legacy, and it's like a very vulnerable song. And like at the time, there was just a lot of dark shit going on in my life, but also at a bright time, like my son's born, but also like I'm losing relationship with my brother. My brother's mad at me for whatever reason. He's mad at me, and my mom's explaining all this like personal shit with me. So she just like really connected with that song, and she got the song tattooed, and she saw me live too, like maybe like in 2018, but she's just same thing, bro. Like my music has just changed her life, bro.
So
it's crazy to think about.
When did she first reveal that to you?
This is probably like 2020. It was just like randomly. I think like the tattoo artist like messaged me first, and he's like, "Yo, is it cool if like I give someone an AK40DEVIN tattoo?" And I was just like freaking out, like, "Yo, send me that immediately!" But like they wouldn't tell me like who. And then she just like randomly like sent me a picture. And bro, if I like do a show in Texas, like she'll go to Texas, bro. If I do a show on Mars, like she'll be there.
I believe that. It's
crazy.
That's what
it also gives me hope that like if there's like one person out there like that, like there's hundreds. And like once I got 100 AK40DEVIN tattoos out there, bro, I got an army and we could just do whatever the fuck we want.
I feel that, dude. That's crazy. And I feel like the vibe you're given, and especially the vibe you're given to like this community that you're building with your music and everything, especially like it feels like something easily to like gravitate towards because of like the pain you spill in your music, the relatability and the vulnerability that you produce as well. I think it really gives off a lot of like, you know, like you said, like MGK vibes and stuff. And it's wild because I'm not an avid MGK listener, right? But I was kind of like trying to like listen to his music and kind of derive like where your inspiration comes with as well. Because you have a lot of music, dude. It's wild, and you have a lot of cool videos too that I
Thank you,
fuck
bro.
with.
Thank you.
Your most recent music video that you released, the one with the, I think it was like it's like in the TV screen, the whole
Yeah,
shit.
boxed in, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I fuck with that heavy, dude. I fuck with that heavy, and like just the production behind it, like that's something to be real fucking proud about. Because not a lot of people do that shit, bro. Not a lot of people do it for this long, you know, and still have that drive to do it. And the least, bro. Actually, let's jump into this a little bit. Let's swerve the conversation a little bit, because I did wanna talk to you about this. Doing this whole process with a son, like that's fucking wild. And it's crazy because I was actually a little bit perplexed when you were gonna come in, and especially when I found out that you had a son, because jokingly, you know, like this one girl I talked to, you know, we always joke around and stuff, and she's like, you know, like, oh, what if I got pregnant, whatever, and I'm just like, yo, if you got pregnant, like my career's over, dude. Like, cause like, like it's not like that's literally what I told her. Like, I was like, I would have to like leave the studio, you know what I mean? Like, I would go find like, you know, a regular like 9 to 5, and I just want to pay the bills and like, you know, like raise the kid. You know, I'm just gonna drop everything. And seeing what you're doing just made me feel like those thoughts are fucking stupid. Like my bad, because
Yeah,
like
no,
I was
they
just
are,
like,
yeah.
I was just like I was like, look at this guy and what you do, bro. And like going out, like I was like, this is so fucking inspirational. You know what I mean? But what I did want to talk about is like, because I know that comes with a lot of sacrifice and struggle. I know it does. There's no way it doesn't, bro. So how much do you feel like you have to sacrifice while keeping like, you know, the bills paid and raising your kid? Like, how is that like?
Damn, man, that's a good question, bro. I mean, something recent, like, I'd rather talk about the struggles real quick because maybe there's, like, single dads on this podcast that can relate. I mean, the sacrifices, bro, hopefully they pay off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, any time that I do something, like, right now I'm taking time away from my son to do this. Hopefully it'll pay off, you know? But, I was born, I was made sacrificing shit, so it was never anything new to me. Like, I was sacrificing shit before my son's here. I hope that doesn't sound like too cold, but I don't know. We got to do it. We got to sacrifice, like high risk, high reward type of mentality. But the struggles, like something that I want to talk about, something I want to make my music about is like a struggle is like a single dad that is, how could I say this? Like a single dad experiencing a child, like going through like the breakup, bro, like just being with a mom, like experiencing the mom having different boyfriends and just like he's living at this house half the time, he's living over here half the time. Like that's been like the biggest struggle for me to like adapt to. And my music moving forward, like I wanted to speak to people like me, not just fathers but mothers too, because a lot of people just go through this, bro. Like you gotta, I'm optimistic about it. Like I'm kind of like in my head, I'm like, yo, it's gonna like thicken up my son's skin, but at the end of the day it's like, bro, like it sucks. Like you got to go through that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. No, like
There's a lot of kids that go through that shit too, bro. It's like I can not only speak for the parents, but I can speak for the kids too.
word. How did you feel when you found out that like your like, you know, your baby mama was pregnant and, you know, y'all were gonna go through with like, you know, keeping the baby and everything? Like what was going through your mind?
I mean, I had resentment for sure, just like how you said, like my career is over, but it's kind of crazy, like the stigma, like when you have a kid, like you tell your parents you have a kid and they're just like, what? Ah, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, bro, why didn't you tell me this is the greatest thing to ever happen in my fucking life? Like, why is everyone like, you have a kid and it's just like your life is over? No, bro, your life just started right now.
Talk to me about
to
that.
start a life, man.
How is it the greatest thing that has happened to you so far?
Just gives me purpose, bro. Like, I had no purpose before that. Like, I thought music was my purpose, but it's not. And even if I tell you or tell anybody else right now, like, music is my purpose, it's not. It's clearly not. Like, yeah, it's something that I want to do, something that I want to fulfill my desires, but it's not my purpose, bro. My purpose is literally right in front of me, bro. It's raise my son and to the best of my abilities, just give him the best character, bro. That's literally my destiny.
And how old is your son now?
He's turning 4 next week.
the best way I could like sympathize with you is my niece was born last September, and I never knew love like that. I think ever. I think it's so difficult. A lot of parents like they'll usually tell you like growing up, oh, like you'll understand when you're a parent, you know. And I'm still not a parent, and I don't understand certain things. But when my niece was born, man, it's like I'm in love with this girl, man. Like I love her with all my heart. Like I would do anything in the fucking world to like if she needed something, and I would drop it immediately, you know. And I think that's low key the kind of like the background of what I'm thinking too, like if I had a kid, you know, because to be honest, I don't know if I'd be able to do like the sacrifices and things that you're doing. When I did June in Jersey, like the third weekend, because I was working so fucking hard, I was doing 30 podcasts in 30 days, you know, and I was editing from like 8 a.m. and there was like some days where I was like 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. You know what I mean? I'd go home, sleep, do the same thing the next day. And it wasn't like that every day. But by the third week, I kind of reached a little breaking point for a second where I didn't know if I was going to reach my goal. And I was just thinking about it. I was like, damn, like I'm not spending enough time with my niece. You know, like she's growing up and I'm missing these vital moments. And I just started breaking down, crying in my office over there. And I was just like, fuck. I was like, it's tough. And I just wanted to spend more time with my family. But at the same time, I was like, if I don't reach the goal that I'm trying to reach right now, I'm not setting up this foundation or stepping stone so I could reach the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one and hopefully get to a place where it's like, okay, I got a podcast this day. This is going to pay the bills enough for the month and this. And now this Saturday, I could take completely off and just fucking chillax with the fam. Like do nothing. You know what I mean? Do nothing. And I can't imagine doing that as a father, because like obviously I love my niece to death, bro. Like I mean she's a new member of the family, but then having something that's your own and dealing with that, dude, like, bro, I don't think anybody who doesn't have like a little person, a little bundle of joy, you know what I mean? Even though kids could be fucking annoying, you know, but like really understands that, dude. And it's crazy because like, dude, I just have so much respect for that, dude, and especially for you,
man.
dude.
I appreciate that.
For sure.
It kind of teaches you like unconditional love. So like I haven't had like a successful relationship with like a woman like since then, but my son showed me that like love is supposed to be unconditional. Like in a lot of relationships, like we're in love with like someone's ego. Like we're not even in love with them because your ego is the one judging me. Your ego is the one judging every single situation. Like it's not really you. It's just who you think you should be or what you think should be done or anything like that. So like love, hold on. Sorry, hold on, my son's mom's texting me. I was supposed to get him.
That's all good, dude.
But sorry about that. Yeah, I mean love is like so easy, bro. Like for me to like love my friends or like love your dog, for example, like it's effortless. So like why is like relationships complicated? It doesn't make any sense. Like forgiveness is something that I've learned to develop. I think it's a skill that everybody needs to develop. Mike Tyson just said on his podcast, he was like, forgiveness is stronger than a bullet or something like that. And it's like when you love someone unconditionally, like you just love them and you accept them for who you are. Like we don't expect people to be perfect. Like if you fuck up, like we'll talk about it. If you do this, like we'll talk about it. Like, but that love in any relationship, in any way, shape, or form that you're sending out love, it should always just be unconditional. Like there shouldn't be like no byproduct. Like I only love you if you're putting food on the table. Like fuck out of here. You don't love me. You just love me supporting you. But if you love me, you would be there with me if I'm homeless, living in a shopping cart. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real love.
No, yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think that's a great point you bring up. It's like doing something and not expecting anything back. You know what I mean? It's like, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? I have people who don't fuck with me in my life, and I still show them hella love. I always like to say peace, love, unity, bro. Peace, love, unity. And love is one of those things. I believe in like karma too. I believe in what you put out into the universe will come back always, right? You put hate onto the universe, you're going to get that back at some point. And that's why I think like a lot of people who work around that like toxic environments, they're not going to last. You know what I mean? Like they might last 30, 40 years, you know what I mean? But then they're miserable in their older ages. And now they're leaving life with like this terrible legacy now, you know what I mean? And not legacy to anybody else, but within yourself, you know? What I did want to talk about and bring up with you a little bit was, oh fuck, my mind just went blank.
It's all good. My mind's always blank.
No, sometimes it just happens on the podcast, bro. You be talking, you're like, oh fuck, what was I gonna say? What I did want to talk about a little bit was how it is now. So nowadays, so your company now, right? So I assume that you know you're doing okay with your company now because
Yeah,
now
I'm killing it.
you just actually did a music video giveaway, right?
Yeah.
And Sully won one, right? That's fucking funny as hell because when I was watching the video, right, I sometimes I hate reading the captions before like seeing the video because I like being surprised or I like seeing what happens. But I saw Sully tagged already, and I was like, oh fuck! I was like, so Sully definitely won one of this. It spins, and you're like, Sully, bro, that's my boy, bro, that's crazy. So that's dope. So you're at the point where you're giving away shit too, and like you know, I think that's dope. You know, like that helps so much with networking and like getting your name out there. But like, how is it now running your company now? Like, what's mainly the thing that's driving, like you know, like bringing in revenue for you?
I mean, mostly music videos. I'm barber videos, bro. Like my boy C has a barber. Shout out to Jersey, man. But this dude like literally introduced me into like a whole barber universe, bro. And like 50% of my work like revolves around barbers. 50% of it is now like music videos and like events, like some weddings here and there and shit like that. But I just believe that like giving is part of the universe, bro. And it's like something you said before, bro. Like the more that you give, the more that you get. And people want to get all this shit without giving. And nah, man, I just had to change my frequency because I kind of burned myself out a couple months ago. Like, just chasing money. Like, oh, I'm in a business, so I just got to chase money. Like, let me do all this shit that's not making me happy. Let me shoot all these artists that I can't stand. I can't stand the context. I can't stand the subject matter. I can't stand that you're calling me at 3 a.m. You're all fucked up at the club. Like, yo, what's good, man? Come to L.A. We at the club, man. We'll fly you out. Like, bro, chill, bro. Save that. So I just kind of reset, bro, and just back to that giving and back to just like doing what genuinely makes me happy. Because it sucks when you're doing something that you love to do and then you have to do it for money. The money takes the love out of it, bro. That's trash.
I agree with that 100% actually, dude. Like even now to this point, it's funny. The day I don't say this on the podcast, bro, I'm gonna be so fucking happy. But still, we have not made a dime off the podcast yet. Not even a dime, bro.
That's
not
fire.
Even a dollar, right? We haven't made a dollar. I've never asked anybody to pay me money to have them on a podcast. Ever. Not saying it's a bad thing. And then definitely at some point when I do have like a crazy amount, I already feel like I have a crazy amount of people asking me to come on the podcast. But like crazy to me is like 15 plus, 20 plus people, right? Because I'm like, oh fuck, you know, and if you're doing weekly, you know, podcasts, it's like 20 people's a lot. But once I have like, you know, like maybe thousands, I might have to be like, yo, if you're really trying to come on, bro, you're gonna have to throw me some bread, you know. But my goal for this is to keep it free. I want to keep the podcast completely free for anybody who comes on. Why? Because I want the people who come on and shit to be people who I actually want to discuss with, talk to. You know, I know the value that I give away sometimes, you know, and it's crazy. Like, you know, this whole production and everything, you could probably charge around like anywhere between 400 to 600 for each podcast that I do, right? So when you think about money like that, you know, and you think about the value, it's a weird switch off, right? Because it's like sometimes you think about when you take a chance on somebody, especially, right? It's funny. I was talking to Sully about this. Some people hit me up in my DMs and they're so disrespectful. You know, they'll be like, "Yo, when can I get on? Like your next free slot, I'm in there." And I'm just like, who the fuck are you, dude? Like, you know, like,
Now, why'd you introduce yourself,
like,
bro?
yeah, right. And it's funny because sometimes I try to be nice. I'm way too nice. Like I'm not trying to sound condescending.
That's why you're reading assholeology.
yeah. Because I'm like, even for people who fucking Actually, this is a good segue into that. Even for people who like, you know, just talk to me like that, like I'll send them a voice message and I'll be like, yo, dude, I don't even know you. What, like, why don't we start talking first and let me teach you how to talk to somebody to let that happen, and then maybe a couple months down the line we'll do that. You know what I mean? But even this one kid, I'm not gonna shout him out, but if you're watching and if you, because I told him, I was like, number one, if you're gonna come on a podcast, at least research the person a little bit. You know what I mean? At least know what he does, because I've interviewed people. I'm not gonna say who, but I've interviewed people who came here before and they're like, oh, I didn't know like this was gonna be like this. I'm like, bro, I have like 50 plus episodes out. What the fuck did you think this was? You know? But there's one guy who keeps DMing me his music, right? And he first DM'd me and he's like, what's good with it? Are we litty or not? Let me know. And I was like, and then I messaged him and I was like, yo, dude, I don't know you, but like, you know, like, yeah, I think it'd be a pleasure to have you on, and you know, but let's talk a little bit first, right? And he's like, nah, let's talk now. And then he Instagram calls me.
Oh shit.
Like 3 times in a row. And I'm just like, oh nah, this guy's crazy. And then I was like, yo, my boy, I'm not picking up this call. And then he's like, what's good with it then? And I was like, nah, bro. And that, I think that brings it perfectly to this book shit, bro. Tell me what you learned from this book, bro. Because this is one of the shits that I heard you talk about a little bit on Sully's podcast, but I wanted to hear you dive more into. Like, don't show the fucking people. Assholeology, bro. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, shout out Justin Price, bro. You changed my life by giving me that book. And that was like my introductory to like reading books. Before I get to that, like a little backstory is like when I was a kid, I would read books all the time, bro. All the Harry Potter books. So before picking up that book, the last book I picked up was like 7th, 8th grade. And my older brother was like being a dick. And I was like reading the Harry Potter series. And he took the bookmark out, so I didn't know where I was at the time. And I just gave up on reading at that. So literally fast forward like into high school. And I'm chilling with one of my best friends, Justin Price. And I'm just like sparking everyone up. I'm just like being nice to everybody. Like my mom always raised me to be nice, and that's something that I'll never stop. I'll never stop being kind. But he just like gave me that book, and he's like, bro, like sometimes it's okay to be an asshole. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? It's never cool to be an asshole. He's like, nah, bro, it's never cool to be like a scumbag. The assholes win, bro. Trust me, read this book. So he gave me that book, and every once in a while, like situations will come where like, let's just say like for money, for example, like someone wants to hand you money and like you don't want to take it, but it's like you read that book and it's like, yo, if they're offering it to you, you take it, because at the end of the day, you're not a scumbag. But if I'm pressing you about that money, like, yo, where the fuck the money at? Yo, I just came on your podcast, you owe me, bro. Then I'm a scumbag, because tomorrow you're talking shit about me. But like being an asshole is like, the assholes win, bro.
I feel like I haven't dove too deep into the book yet, but I feel like this is a great book for people who are on one end of an extreme, right? So like, for example, like for me, I'm way too extremely nice. And so to be able to see the other side, the other extreme of being like an extreme asshole and shit. Like I think what my goal is with everything is always trying to find the balance in between, you know? Because sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes you have to be selfish. You know, I think even the word like selfish is such a negative connotation. I have like one of my boys, he's like my brother, he's going through some shit right now. And I told him, I was like, you need to be selfish, dude. And he's a giver, bro. He always gives his time, gives his money, gives everything. And it's great. You could be like that, you know? Hopefully you are like that. But to be like that successfully takes a lot of taking. And taking could mean a lot of different things. Taking time for yourself, taking time for your craft, taking time for, you know, like your own personal growth. But if you're taking, what is that taking from, you know? And I imagine for you, you know, we talked about sacrifice, you know, we're talking about, you know, like maybe your son watches, like, you know, at first, you know, kids grow up and they see things very simply. It's a beautiful thing about kids, you know what I mean? I can't wait till my niece starts talking, because like, you know, she'll see everything simply. It's like yes and no, you know, black, white, you know, and then he's like, oh, yo, my dad growing up, you know, like, he was fucking chasing this music dream and shit and trying to make shit happen. You might be thinking, yo, he's an asshole. It's like, maybe to a certain, like, you know, viewpoint. Yeah, maybe. But why are you being that? You're chasing what you fucking want, what your dream is, to make it work. You know what I mean? Because then once you get to that point where it's like, I don't need to worry about money. I don't want to do, and I'm doing what I love, and I can support my family and my kid and whatever. yeah, you needed to be like that. You need to be a little bit of an asshole. You need to be a little bit selfish, and or a lot of it selfish, because to get to that point is fucking difficult, dude. And I imagine, like, you know, like going through that shit too is difficult as well. You know, do you find yourself struggling with it like today as well? Like, you know, as you kind of go through this journey and process.
Well, I need to pick that book back
Yeah.
up because people mistake your kindness for weakness.
Oof.
And I'll never stop. Like, just because people want to operate on a certain frequency, like, I'll never stop being kind. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, not even to, like, prove you wrong will I, like, stoop down to your level and, like, be like that. But I think an asshole is literally just, like, another word for, like, assertive. Like, your boss, like, if you're working a job, your boss is an asshole. But why is he an asshole? Because the job got to get done. It's like, you don't want to be a scumbag. Like, right now I could be an asshole to somebody, but if I do something completely left that's just, like, radical, like, yeah, then I'm a scumbag. And assholes are assertive, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think to be a leader as well, you need to be like that. I actually worked at a Cinnabon for 4 years. I was I guess you could say like a manager there, right? And a lot of my staff thought I was an asshole, but it was because I knew how the game worked. You know, it was like, I'm in charge of you. If this store is not clean at the end of the day, you know, that falls on you, but that falls on me. You know, we have something to do, you know? So I remember like closing up the store and shit and being like, yo, this is dirty. Make sure you clean it. You're not leaving until this is clean. So, and you know, I remember like some of them being like, yo, until I quit and shit like that, or like, nah, I didn't quit until like I left, you know, some people were like, yo, you're a real fucking dick, dude. And I was like, I'm not a dick. It just needs to get done. Sometimes you really just need an extra push, because as much as we want to be all lovey-dovey, happy, and like, oh my God, I love you, bro. Like, you know, we're doing all this great shit. There's a balance. There's definitely a balance. There's a balance between being an asshole and a great giving person. And you can't, if you give everything away, if you give, they're going to be left with nothing.
Oh, exactly.
You know, I always give the example. I was telling my boy, I was like, I had to be selfish, especially like with my time, especially this past like 6 months to a year, like, and not see my friends as much, not see my family as much, to be able to get myself in a place where I could be grounded, you know? And when you're grounded in shit, like, I'm finally at the place where, like, okay, like, if anybody needed help, like, I could help them, you know? But if I wasn't at this point, if I wasn't at a point where, like, you know, like, I'm actually, like, okay, then who the fuck can I help? I can't help nobody.
No, exactly.
You know? You got to help yourself before you could help other people. And that's weird. I don't think people understand that concept, you know? Because usually people receive, and then they're like, oh, I just got that, boom, give it away. I think you can't do that all the time, dude. You for sure can't. I want to talk about a little bit where your company is going. Like, what is your main goals right now? I mean, you've worked with fucking crazy names, you know what I mean? You've done shows, you perform regularly. Like, what's the shit right now that you're working on that is like the next step for you?
That's a good question, man. I mean, I just want to be like a Lyrical Lemonade or like a Blank Square Productions. Like, Edgar Estevez is one of my favorite music video directors. I'm shout out Cole Bennett too, just like legendary, but just kind of have like that whole movement behind like a music video company. Like, I want to be able to operate all over the world. I want to be able to have giant set productions and giant budgets for casts and locations and cars and models and all those things. But right now, my goal that I just write down all the time is just this company's just going to operate all over the world. That's my number one goal.
And you were talking about how you just had your first set that was like a big crew, like a $5,000 set. Talk to me about that, because I literally had just, like, through Gin in Jersey and meeting some of the other people who also do like video sets. Like, what was the production like? What was it for? And who did you have there?
So shout out to J Mac. She's a legendary artist out of Jersey, actually. Amazing voice, superstar on the come up. And we did this video called Post Malone Proposal, where like she made like a TikTok thing that went super viral, like 18, 19 million plays on TikTok.
That's dope.
Where she just proposed to Post Malone. So they hit me up. They're like, yo, we want to do this video. This is what we got, blah, blah, blah. And I called on my boy Decap Black, who's like my production assistant. And I'm like, bro, this is what we got to do. We got to set up a wedding. We got to recreate Post Malone's congratulations video. Like, this is the lighting that we need. This is the equipment that we need, from cameras, lenses, tripods. Yeah, and we just did it, bro. Like, that was like really my first time like at scale, but like we killed it, bro.
So you talked about, so when was this shot like
This was like February this year.
February this year? You said you only started getting like you got your camera back in like 2019, you said?
Yeah,
Right?
2019.
So like what, that's like almost 3-ish years like in between, right? How was it learning the process of lightings, cameras, the lenses you need? Like when did it get like, was this like your first big gig doing that?
Yeah, but I felt like already experienced because I was working with like the Davies and like the all those guys and shit like that. And truth be told, bro, a lot of videographers are doing this, bro, but like keep people on your team that know way more than you, bro. Like and then I mean, I give my team all the credit, bro. Shout out to them, but a lot of them know a lot more about a lot than me, bro. So I would just have like a gaffer, but the gaffer's also a DP, and then I'll hire like this guy who like specializes in something else, and then my one boy that specializes in like set design. He's gonna build this and he's gonna hang that up there and shit like that. So I don't know, I kind of felt ready for it.
Word.
Already.
How many people did you have on your team that set?
I think it was like maybe 9 or 10.
Word. Damn.
Yeah.
And so like when it comes to like and let me know if you're not cool to talk about this, but when it comes to paying all of them, like how does that work with you? Because you're in charge of that, right? So like how does that work, splitting up everything and splitting it like between yourself?
Well, I got paid 0.
Word.
Everyone else got paid. But it was because like we just undershot it, bro. Like when people have a budget, like you think like it's a lot of money, bro. But then if you have to put the video together, it's like, damn, bro, we actually need more money for this, bro. But like we just quoted them that, or that's their budget. Like we can't do nothing else. And at the end of the day, we want the product to look good. So I just looked at it as like an investment back into myself. Like I could have like this amazing music video out and the money will flow back to me. But like, let me just make sure everyone else on my team is like compensated.
Word, for sure, for sure.
But that was my mistake. Like I learned, like it's back to one of those things. Like I should put myself first. But it was just like it was a learning curve.
Yeah, dude. I think these learning curves and how we do shit, bro, is like, it's insane. When we look back, as long as you're growing, bro, like that's all that fucking matters.
No,
you know
exactly,
what I mean?
bro.
Right now. And as long as like, you know, you're not completely broke, I think that's all that matters too. It's hard, dude. You know, we were talking about that a little bit before, the difference between like doing stuff for money and doing stuff for, you know, the love of it. And it's hard because you can't lean any way too hard, you know? Like you could lean hard into loving it, but like if you don't pay the bills, then this doesn't exist. You know, but then also at the same time you have to put the correct value on yourself, you know, quote the right shits. I had a dope conversation with both Michael Harrison, Leo Justiniano, like oh my god, I'm forgetting the name of the other guy. He does all this camera work. I'll send you his podcast because he's really dope. He recently had a whole team do the set for the Stranger Things event in NYC when season 4 came out and everybody was there.
Fire.
Like he did all the camera work. He had his whole team out there and did like the whole production for it in Times Square and shit. And it's dope because you have this one person on a skyscraper filming down, another person doing mic stuff, another camera guy like walking around making sure they get everybody. And it's hard, and I can't fathom doing it myself yet. You know, and I think the only way I would ever be able to like do it is kind of like how you do it. You know what I mean? Like pay everybody, have a lot of smart people around you, have people who know more shit than you, and then keep learning the game. You know, is it intimidating at all when you go through those processes? Like, do you have to deal with a lot of anxiety at all?
I just feel like there's like a little, like even when I was working with these guys, like just like imposter syndrome. Like I don't feel like I belong because low key, like a lot of my friends, like they have like college degrees for video and like they went to like the Full Sails and they went to these things and they're Adobe Premiere certified, and I'm just like, bro, I'm just like YouTube certified, bro.
YouTube University, bro.
But then it's like these same people are like telling me like, bro, like this is your value, and like never undershoot that.
For sure.
Like, sometimes I feel like I gotta lean a little bit because I don't have that degree or I don't have that certificate, but at the same time, bro, like we kind of know the same thing, we just do it differently.
No, yeah, for sure, dude. I kind of want to pivot the conversation a little bit because we didn't get to touch upon your music. How was your music writing process like?
Oh man, I've had a writer's block forever now, bro. And Turkish Royale kind of just got me out of that, but I'm trying to find a new process right now. I have a lot of shit that I want to channel, a lot of shit that I want to talk about, a lot of stuff that I want to be transparent about. And I started working on this project like this year. It's called Revenge. And I had like a good amount of it done. But what I just realized yesterday after having a conversation with Turk was success is the best revenge. So to the people that betrayed me, I wanted to get back at them by being successful. Like, yo, like, look who you just turned your back on. Now look at me. But that's like an ego-driven thing. So now that's been in my head all the time. Like, revenge through your success, revenge through your success, revenge through your success. So I'm like, everything that I do in my mind is like super high pressure. Like, everything got to be great. Everything got to be legendary. And what that did to me was that, like, that blocked me. It didn't do any good for me. Like, yeah, I still want to do those things, but going back to the beginning of this conversation, my motive stopped being for that kid in the wheelchair. And now my motive is to prove people wrong and prove myself right. And I'm not getting anything done. So I had this conversation with Turk yesterday, and I was self-aware, and I realized that, like, damn, like, that's why I'm blocked. Because I'm not doing this shit for the right reason anymore. I'm doing this to prove people wrong. And that's, so, I don't know, I got to find a new process. But Turk also told me, like, and Sully told me this is wrong, but I don't know, I like Turk's advice. Like, I just have to let shit flow. Like, if I don't feel like writing a song, like, don't write the song. Like, write a music video treatment. Like, just do, like, channel it somehow, but, like, it doesn't have to be, like, forced into, like, a song. It could be a book. It could be anything. So I think that's just what I'm going to stop doing, is just, like, trying to write a song. And Snow the Product actually told me yesterday, I asked her a question. I said, how do you get through writer's block? She said 4 words, yo. She said, don't try and live. And, like, I needed to hear that, bro. Like, I'm trying too hard, bro.
I think that's great advice. Funny enough, guy I have on, man, love him to death, man. Name is Reg Mason, bro. Love that man to death, bro. Shout out to him. He, I had a cool conversation with him, and he's like, yo, he's like, if you feel like you can't write for 6 months, don't write. And I was like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. At first, that's what I thought, honestly. Shout out Reg, bro. I love you, bro. That's what I thought when the first time you said that. I was like, that's dumb. Then you're doing no work for 6 months. What the fuck are you gonna do? And it's like, you can't force it. And more recently, I realized, and on top of the advice that I'm gonna give, on top of what you just said, you know, just live. You know what I mean? I think part of that is also, like, by living your life, like, you get inspired.
Hell yeah.
And I think that's kind of why stuff slowed down in July for me. Because I realized I did this whole June in Jersey project, right? And I was super inspired before I did the whole project. I had it done. I finally reached my goal, but I was tired as shit after that month. And after that month ended, I still had a couple ideas, but nothing I wanted to execute yet, right? Nothing as special as that first project. And I think I said I was going to be gone for 2 weeks. I was gone for the month. This is going to come out in August. And I really just took that time to kind of just, like, look at shit, you know, and just, like, do shit that I haven't done before. Actually just kind of take a step back from all of it, but it's not really taking a step back from all of it. Because to have stuff to talk about, you also need to know, like, how that affects how you fit into the world with that, you know. Recently I had to drive to Michigan, and it's a 10-hour drive there and a 10-hour drive back, and I did it in 2 days, you know. And that drive to Michigan was just so fucking inspiring. Like, I was just sitting there driving, looking at this road and getting road rage every fucking, like, 30 minutes because people don't know how to fucking drive, right? Sorry. But like, man, like, just going through that and, like, stopping at this gas station and, like, seeing these people, like, who I'm never gonna see again, you know, washing my hands with in this dirty sink, you know what I mean? Looking at the urinal that's, like, that's just been through some shit, bro. That's just probably been there since fucking World War I, bro. That should look like it, at least. And the guy next to me, even just looking at him and just, like, you know, he looked at me for a second. It was kind of like that awkward, like, you know, like when you look at somebody real quick and you're like, and you look back and you're still staring at each other, like, you know, looking at him and him just being like, what's up? I'm like, what's up, dude? And he held open the door for me. And I'm like, I might not see this guy ever again in life. You know, and that was so kind of him, because I did not want to touch that dirty ass door.
Hell yeah.
And that man made that sacrifice in my life for me, right? And just doing that and just, like, I pump my own gas. I know you probably pump your own gas, you know, but in Jersey we're not used to that shit. So even pumping my own gas and just sitting there and, like, trying to pull the lever to get the exact number, you know what I mean? Just little things like that, and all that shit kind of just added up. And when I got back on the road after that first stop, I was just like, I could drive anywhere in America. I could just go, pick up, and leave.
Hell yeah.
I could start a whole new life. I could drop everything right now and it's incredible that I have the power to do that. And I think what that drive did to me was inspire me and also be like, I have power. I have so much power. There's so much bigger shit than that's just going on in the studio. And even though like the studio's dope and I love what I do, I'm like, anything could change, dude. I've been going to a lot of concerts recently too. I saw The Weeknd this past week. 55,000 people in MetLife Stadium, all screaming at the top of the lungs. And I look at that and I was like, when was the last time I went to a concert? When was the last time I saw somebody pour out their heart? You know, even hitting up delis. Somebody treated me like shit. And instead of the guy treating me like shit, you know, and like, you know, like being like, oh, what the fuck this guy, you know what I mean? Like, I was more like, what happened to him? Why is he doing that? I wish I could do something for him.
Empathize for them.
Yeah, you know, I think that's part of like the living shit, you know what I mean? Just getting inspired with that. It's weird, dude, because it's different for everybody. And I'm sure at some point it's going to hit for you. It's going to hit for you hard.
Well, even now, bro, like, just going through real life shit, like my baby mom boyfriend acting fucking crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of optimistic to the point where it's like, bro, like, that empathy thing too for, like, bro, we could talk it out. Like, anything could be talked out, but it's like, bro, kind of like, thank you for, like, inspiring me, because now I got, like, shit to talk about, bro. I don't have shit before you fucking acting crazy. Now I got mad shit to talk about, and I got mad people that can relate to this shit too.
For sure, for sure. What do you feel like you're most proud of as an artist so far with what you've done?
As an artist? Apollo Theater, man, definitely. Definitely. Just being able to touch that stage and just, like, winning, like, the Coke save. Like, yeah, I wish I won first place, but 90% of people, number one, are going to get booed off that stage. And the other, whatever, 90%, not like that makes any sense, but 90% of people don't even have the courage to, like, go there, because 90% of the people go up there and get booed. So, like, bro, like, I don't know. I was never afraid of, like, getting booed. Like, if I got booed, it was telling me that I'm trash. You know? So that's what I'm most proud of. Like, people want to talk all this shit and people want to say whatever, but it's like, bro, like, until you do that, like, we can't even have a conversation. Not like it's me selling out the garden or anything like that, but, like, take your skills and go up there. And if you're good, like, they'll let you know. And if you're bad, they'll definitely let you know, and they'll boo you off that stage, bro.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I've definitely had some rough shows before as well. It always sucks when you kind of do a show and sometimes it's not even you. Sometimes it's the crowd. The crowd's either not hyped up or, like, you know, the type of music you're playing is not necessarily hype music, and they're just like, or worse, I've never been booed off a stage. God forbid, bro. I hope that never happens, bro.
Yeah, nah, they, like, booed me the first time I came out, but, like, I was, like, towing the zone. Like, I thought that they were cheering. Like, they were going like this, like, to get me off the stage. But I thought that they were, like, into it, like, going like that. So I just kept going, yo.
That's the best, bro.
And then when I watched the video back, like, everyone's already like, boo. But they didn't boo me off the stage, though.
Oh, dude, nah, dude. I wouldn't leave either, bro. For sure, for sure. I just keep doing my thing. We're actually coming pretty close to the end of the podcast, Devin, but I do have a couple more questions for you, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, dude, no problem, man.
Sorry, man. I'm probably the only one who's got to text my son.
Nah, bro, you're chilling, bro. I had shout out to Nathaniel. He actually in the middle of the podcast towards the end, he was like, dude, I really gotta pee. And I was like, you understand, like, we don't stop filming? He's like, yeah, but I gotta go. And he just got up, went to the bathroom, and I was kind of just like here with the camera alone. And I was like, I could talk for a little bit by myself.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
And I was talking a little bit, but then at one point I realized, I was like, I guess we're just gonna sit here in silence. And I sat in front of this camera for like 2 minutes waiting for this man to come out. And it's funny because if you really listen to that podcast closely, you could hear him peeing and then stop, flush, wash his hands, use the hand dryer, and then come back out.
That's funny, yeah.
So it is what it is. But like I said, we're coming pretty close to the end of the podcast. I do have a couple more questions, but I did want to open it up to you. Do you have anything that you wanted to share that you didn't get to say yet before I ask you these last couple questions?
Man, everybody go to Mad Mind Takeover, bro. You included, bro.
Facts, yeah, no, you're definitely
like,
gonna see
I don't
me
know.
there.
Turk Royale is my family, bro. Sully Bob's my family. You're my family now, bro. But
Appreciate it, bro.
I mean, yeah, I got nothing else to talk about, bro. Music on the way, but yeah, everybody here listening, I'm gonna use this platform to promote Turk's platform. Everybody should go to Mad Minds because it's like one of the only places that like I feel like home. Like Mad Minds is like, you remember like high school when like everyone was like divided, like we had like the cool kids over here, then you had the nerds over here, and then maybe you had like the jocks over there, and then you had like the gangsters over there. Like Mad Minds is like a collective where like the gangsters are like showing mad love to the nerds, where like in high school it's like the cool kids or whatever are like, yo, fuck those nerds, yo, like let me give them a swirly, or let me push them down the stairs or some shit. Like the Mad Minds is like the only place where like you have like all these different random people there that are just like one, and everybody just showing love, man. It's such a special place.
Fuck yeah, dude. I on top of that, man, like go to Mad Minds, yo. It's gonna be my first Mad Minds experience.
Let's go,
like this
bro.
time. And I'm hyped for it, dude. I'm super hyped for it. After talking to Turk, man, like I was like, I can't wait. I want to see what happens. I would definitely want to see what happens. I'll definitely bring up some homies too, for sure.
Let's
I've
get
seen
it, bro.
I've seen all these videos, and you know where is it gonna be?
He's doing a really big event August, I don't know the date, August 26th or something. That's in where are we right now? I feel like it's around here.
This is Boonton right now.
I think it's in Morristown. That's where his event in August is. And then he's got an event, I think next week. That's in Bud Lake, New Jersey.
Word. Definitely gonna see me. Anything that Turk's doing and anything that you're doing with them, I definitely want to show up and support for sure. So these last couple questions, you talk a lot about, you know, like going through struggles and like, you know, depression and stuff. How do you deal with those, and like how have you dealt with those?
It's like a weird dichotomy because I'm super grateful, I'm super blessed, and I'm super optimistic. And I think, I don't know, writing down my goals, writing down things I'm grateful for is key. Like, I've always told people this, and you could take it or leave it, but like, depression and gratitude, like, they don't mix. Like, pick one. Like, and I'm not like the most depressed person. I'm not clinically depressed, or like people like really have depression. So like, no hard feelings to any of them, because if I don't understand it, I would love to. But me personally, I just don't believe that you could be grateful and depressed at the same time. Because if you just boil it down, keep peeling back layers, it's like, bro, like, just the fact that I woke up today, bro, I'm blessed. Like, how could I have a bad day, bro? Like, there's people that have the worst days of their lives right now, like whether it's like death or car accidents or whatever the case may be. Like, those people are having bad days, bro. Like, I woke up today, bro. My son woke up today. He's happy. He's healthy. I'm happy. I'm healthy, bro. What more are we asking for? Like, it's not guaranteed. Like, life is super short, and people are just like, I don't know, maybe they're expecting too much, but I don't know. All I want to do is wake up and breathe, bro, at the beginning and end of the day.
I respect the shit out of that, dude. I definitely respect that. And even I love it when people really just keep it real, like coming into the podcast and stuff. Especially the off-camera stuff is always the best stuff. And even when you came in here, you're walking down the stairs and you're like, man, I'm just great to, you know, have waking up today and, like, you know, to be here and stuff. I respect that, man.
That's real energy, man. And like anybody on here, like listening, bro, like your words are super powerful, and like don't think that like your words hold no weight, because like just by saying like I'm amazing or I'm blessed, like that changes like the whole frequency of everything, and like people will just like, oh, could be better. It's like, bro, get that fucking negative shit out of here. Like, if you want to change your life and you want to live like a blessed, happy life, like, just put that out. Just say you're amazing. You don't have to be amazing, but just say you're amazing. Say these things that you're not, because you'll feel like it. Like, your thoughts create feelings, and that's what creates like a frequency. So like, why not just think the thoughts of like prosperity and abundance and gratitude all the time, just so you can operate like that all the time.
Word. Second question out of 3. Your name. AK40DEVIN.
Yes, sir.
How'd you come up with that?
I have no idea, bro. I have no fucking idea. I think my boy Justin Green gave it to me, but I have no idea, bro. Like, I don't even remember. It was so long ago, man. I started off as like Milk D. Me and this Haitian dude, Sam St. Louis, one of my best friends, bro. He would just start rapping with me. I don't know. Yeah, I can't say. We could talk off camera, but we made like a rap group in 5th grade, and the teacher took our rap and like ripped it up and just all this shit. But fuck, I'm just gonna say it. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. So me and this dude are in 5th grade, dude. And this is kind of when my rap career started, low key. But like, me and this dude were best friends, bro. And we started a rap group called Chocolate Milk. So his name was Chocolate. He gave himself that name, by the way.
Okay.
Like nobody ever tried to like, whatever. But like I was just Milk D. And then I found out that Milk D is actually like a MC, bro, which is crazy. So then I became that, and then I was just fucking around, and then I was like Brother Bear. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of fucking whack too. And then after that, I became Captain Jack. And I was like, yeah, what the fuck, Captain Jack, yo? It's fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. So then after that, I don't know. I think like one of my friends just said, yo, AK40DEVIN. And I don't know if they said it like joking around, but I have no idea like literally how that came about. It just came.
That's fire, dude. That's fire. Usually the names that just come out of nowhere, bro, is like sometimes the greatest. Are you aware? This is like a 2-part to the second question. Are you aware that there's somebody else called AK40? I think it's not Devin.
AK40 Kevin.
AK40.
We got beef, bro.
Yo, do you?
No. True.
Have you ever talked to him at all?
No, but maybe I'll reach out. I've talked to AK40DEVIN on Instagram, bro. And real quick, bro, there's a story behind that. Like, I've done a lot of shows, bro. I've been all over, bro. Just touring, making YouTube content and shit. And my Instagram has never been AK40DEVIN. It's always like AK40DEVIN official, AK40DEVIN music. So there's this dude named AK40DEVIN on Instagram. And I messaged him like 2015, just like about the name. Like, bro, could I please have the name? Like, I'll pay you for it. He's being a dick. Yo, fuck you, bro. It's my name, yo. Fucking do something about it. So he has 0 posts, bro. So like fast forward like years later, like 2018, 2019, he has 10,000, 11,000 followers, but still 0 posts. So I'm like, bro, you're taking all of my followers, bro, low key. Maybe not, but that's how I'm perceiving it. So I messaged him in like 2018, bro. And I don't even know where this kid lives. He could live anywhere in the world, dude. I have no idea. So I messaged him. I'm like, bro, I need the name. He's just like, yo, $10,000. I'm like, bro, you're fucking bugging, bro. Give me the fucking name right now. So he fucking FaceTime calls me, this random guy from wherever he's from. And he's just like talking mad shit to me. Like he's talking in Spanish and all these different languages. Yo, I'm gonna cut you up, bro. How dare you fucking do that? You're not getting the fucking name. Be sending the goons to you, all this shit. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? So then I just ended that. I tried to get my people to report it, but then like he started posting shit like, yo, report this guy. And like it just became like a war. So I was like, yo, you know what? Fuck that guy, yo. Bro, me and my boy were literally like eating in a restaurant. And I just get a random FaceTime call and I answer and it's him. And he's like, yo, who the fuck calling you? And I'm like, dude, it's fucking AK40DEVIN, yo.
Bro, that's crazy, dude. That's hilarious. I've thought about that process too, because you know, I go by Beto, and my Instagram handle is well, for my personal account, or like my music personal account, it's Beto_music, right? And I never liked the underscore music,
Yeah,
or
it's
like,
whack,
you know, like
bro.
I think it's whack, right? So I just wanted to have Beto, right? So I looked up on who's on Instagram, right? Who's just like has just the name itself, just Beto, and I was like, maybe I'll pay them, whatever. And it's just like this little kid, right? Who's just like some other Latino somewhere else, and yeah, I'm like, I don't think if I reached out, like he'd be like, you know, but that's a wild story, dude. That's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious.
He's a dick.
All right, dude. Time for the final question, man.
Let's go.
Less of a question, more kind of just like an open-ended for you. I like to think of these podcasts as time capsules a lot. Even though it's a conversation, one day you're going to look back at this podcast and you're going to be like, oh, wow, like look at where I was, like look at my state of mind, like look at how I dressed, look at the shoes I wore, look at the hat I wore, like, oh, I'd never do that today, or like, oh, maybe I'm the same person, you know? But I think most importantly, your son's going to look back at this one day and he's going to watch, and he's going to, one day he's going to be like, I want to understand my father in a different perspective that I've never understood him before. And I think that is so crazy, because if I could go back when I was a kid and not just see home videos of your parents, but see how their brain works, you know, I feel like
see how they are outside the parenting world.
Yeah, because like it takes a long time for your parent to become your friend. It takes a long time. Me and my mom became best friends, and the whole way our relationship worked changed, because it wasn't just like, oh, like, mommy, I need you for this. It was like, mom, I'm depressed. What are your opinions on it? you know, or like, this happened with my friend, I don't know what to do. Like, what's your advice? So with that being said, to your son looking at this, watching this, whatever part of life he's in right now, what advice do you have for him, and what do you have to say to him?
Wrap it up. No, I'm kidding. Just prosper, man. Don't let anybody ever tell you what you can be. Don't ever let anything limit you. Never let an outside force or outside person affect your internal energy or your inner peace. Always be grateful for what you have, bro. You have an amazing quote you said on your podcast. It's not easier to become, what is it, more grateful?
Yeah, it never gets easier to be grateful for what you have.
Yeah, so that, and then last thing is just, it's so cliche, but like, chase your dreams and follow your heart, bro, because nothing else matters, man. Like, you take anything else away, like, this is all that you have, is like your purpose and why you want to serve people and your dreams, man. Like, your dreams are all that you have. And for any kid watching this, bro, like, you could achieve anything, bro. You could be the next Elon Musk, you could be the next Bill Gates, but you got to think like them, and you got to realize that these people that are great and they're leaders and they're revolutionaries, they're thinking and they're quote unquote arrogant, but they're literally the ones saying to themselves, like, I'm going to be the one changing the world. I'm going to be the one making an impact. So just tell yourself that, man. You're good.
AK40DEVIN, it's been an absolute pleasure
Let's
having you
go,
on the podcast.
man. I can't wait to be back, bro.
Please let the people know where they can find you.
Yo, everywhere at AK40DEVIN official on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, AK40DEVIN official. You can DM me anytime. Also, Soundstick Productions. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, soundstickproductions.com coming soon. And yeah, man, find me anywhere, bro. Just like Batman, just like look outside at night and you'll see like the AK40DEVIN thing at night.
Fire, fire. And guys, y'all already know the business. Ayoo Chill Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you find podcasts, wherever you find videos, you're going to find us. AK40DEVIN, thank you for coming on the podcast, and let's get the fuck out of here,
Thank you, bro. I love you, my brother.
Love you too, man. Oh, sick, dude.
That was fire, bro. I got to pee bad.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Appreciate you.
I was about to be your boy and just fucking walk out and piss.